Wow. Um wow, this series has been incredibly unpredictable and I'm in shock. I'm genuinely in shock just from these first 4 games of this series. Now this video won't be as long as the other ones because we're going to get more in depth with it in a future video I'm going to make about this entire series. But man, I'm so surprised and the series is now tied 2-2. Getting game 5 and game 6 guaranteed, and potentially game 7 can happen. And I think a game 7 could potentially happen with the series because I am just genuinely shocked with the outcome of 2 of these games we've gotten in this series. I've just been genuinely in shock, and it's kind of like the complete opposite on both ends of the floor. For both teams, where they both showcase their flaws throughout this entire series, they both showcase pros throughout the entire series. They both match up differently. It's like different type of teams going at it with each other. That this is one of the best NBA finals we've gotten in such a long time. I agree with that standpoint, and it's great basketball. It's generally is great basketball we're getting, and it's just keeping me up on my feet. Where like the last few finals, I might be doing something else in the background because I just get bored of my feet. But like I literally could not keep my eyes off the screen this entire game because of just the outcome that happened. Because it's not over till it's over. The highest point, there was only a 10-point lead throughout the entire game. That's been the highest scoring of this entire game. And this might be the best game of the series for sure. This one or game 3. Game 1 was kind of but like the fourth quarter made it. But this might be the best game of the series. And it just really showcased both these teams pros and both these teams flaws. Like I think they both have flaws that I want to discuss in a future video, but they also have massive pros that like collide each other as well. But this is just such a insane surprise. What's up guys? Welcome back to the MC channel. Post-game coverage, just instant reaction of the game 4 of the NBA finals, and I am so hyped for this series. I'm genuinely shocked, and it's great basketball. It's generally great basketball. I have nothing else to say. I'm just gonna pull the box score that happened. So the final score was 111 to 104 OKC, and OKC was down by 8 points, down by 8, going into the fourth quarter, and came back and won this game. Now people really want to compare this to the Denver series. I understand the similarities, but I also think Indiana really played poorly in the fourth quarter, and OKC did not play their best. I don't think OKC played well in the fourth quarter. I just think they outplayed Indiana in certain situations, and it sucks that one of the highest scoring offenses in the league is limited to 17 points in the fourth quarter, while OKC scores 31 points in the fourth quarter. Indiana won all 3 quarters except for the fourth quarter and still lost. I feel like Indiana outplayed them in turnover ratio. I feel like they outplayed them in rebounding. They shot the ball from 3 better than OKC, and it just looked like they had their numbers. I mean, OKC looked bad in the first 3 quarters. They looked pretty bad, not like their own team. SGA, that's the only playmaker I can see outside of anybody else on this team. He had zero assists this game, and he had 2 turnovers, but he had 35 points. So we'll get to that later. But J-Dub, when J-Dub does not play well, what's their offense gonna be like outside of Shea? You can't do an over-reliance of Shea, and that's when guys like obviously Alex Caruso, who's been playing insane this NBA Finals, another 20-point game, 20 points off the bench. 1 for 2 from 3, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Got to the free throw line a lot, this team. I feel like this team got to the free throw line a lot. And man, I really want to get this out of the way. This felt like not really a slugfest, but just a free throw fest. Like it really felt like a free throw fest. And I respect it. I respected it in terms of trying to win a game. If you're not being able to get your offense going, like Indiana was not able to get their offense going. Shot 42% from the field. OKC shot 47% from the field. You have the free throw line to rely on. And OKC shot 34 free throws this game out of 38. 34 made free throws out of 38 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It generally is ridiculous. Now, I understand that. Like, I respect it, but also, we're in the NBA Finals. So, the referees should be allowed to let them play more as these games go down. I think Scott Foster called this game for the first time in NBA Finals, and you know the reputation that Scott Foster has. I personally do not like him. I think he is one of the worst refs we've gotten in this entire league because of the way he calls games. Just him, specifically him, outside of all the other entire refs, how he calls games. I mean, how he refs games. The biases that the other players get outside of other guys. As you can see, like OKC shot 30. The fact that both teams shot over 30 free throws in this game is absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous, man. Just let them play basketball. I feel like there are so many calls this entire game that you just let them play. Let them play. I feel like multiple call. I think there's this one call on Alex Caruso. It was Obi Toppin who hit him, trying to foul him. They called that a flagrant foul, which there was a clear kind of wind-up call last game where Aaron Nesmith tried to foul the guy. I can't remember the guy. I think it was Caruso as well. And that was called a common foul, but they called a slap a flagrant foul, which I felt like that was weak. That was a very weak call from the referees. And just the whole officiating the entire game, I feel like as well as OKC played in the fourth quarter, they did not play that well. I feel like they were just rewarded for getting to the free throw line. There were multiple times throughout the entire fourth quarter where just a SGA late foul and like Aaron Nesmith fouled out. I can pull up the fouls because this typically happens when Scott Foster calls the game. 4 fouls for Lou Dort, 4 fouls for SGA, 4 fouls for Chet Holmgren, 3 fouls for J-Dub, 3 fouls for Caruso, 4 fouls for Cason Wallace. Like, that just doesn't happen normally. It's just always when Scott Foster calls a game, guys get in near foul trouble because they call literally any single type of foul. Whether that's a loose ball foul, whether that's a illegal screen, whether that is an inbound play foul, which happened twice this game, which I'll get to those later, but 2 inbound play fouls in the end of the game is ridiculous. Just literally any type of foul. I swear every single kind of foul was called this entire game. That's how ridiculous it is, and it's insane because this is the NBA Finals. Like I said before, Nesmith had 6 fouls. He fouled out again. Miles Turner had 5 fouls. Andrew Nembhard had 4 fouls. Obi Toppin had 3 fouls. Pascal Siakam had 3 fouls. Ben Shepherd had 3 fouls. Bennedict Mathurin had 2 fouls. This is ridiculous, dude. This just doesn't happen on a normal occasion. And outside of those fouls, which really pissed me off the entire game, this was a great game. This is a really, really great game. But the fourth quarter, Indiana completely blew it. I felt like OKC was playing. We'll get to more about it in another video, but obviously OKC just they didn't really switch in the first quarter. I mean, they did kind of rely on the switch. I can't remember what the guy said, but like they kept on. Was it switching or not switching? I'll if I get it right, I'll correct myself. But I think they were trying to switch a lot. I think it was the third quarter. No, it was the fourth. It was the fourth. They switched a lot. And then, no. Oh, no, I'm dumb. No, the first 3 quarters, they relied on the switch, and then they stuck by it. They put the main guys on the Indiana Pacers, and the Pacers could not execute on the offensive end. OKC also tried to just keep on relying on the help defending, which was leaving guys completely wide open from 3. As you can see, guys like Obi Toppin, I think he made 2 3-pointers. Aaron Nesmith made 2 3-pointers. Ben Shepherd made a 3-pointer. Tyrese Halliburton and me only made 1 3-pointer, but that was a deep 3 earlier in the game. But like, yeah, it just felt like they kept on the help defense, and which like Indiana kind of swapped. They kind of swapped roles in the fourth quarter where Indiana really just started playing switch-heavy defense, and that led guys to get in more foul trouble than not. I mean, you saw Aaron Nesmith get in foul trouble a lot. It was just some silly mistakes from that end of the floor, and which caused him to lose the game, unfortunately. But obviously, I think OKC is still the better team, but OKC could have lost this game. They really could have. It really looked bad for them. Again, the playmaking outside of Shea is not very good. The offense looked rough multiple occasions throughout the entire game. It felt like they were playing super heavy hero ball the entire game. And I still stand by that. Even the fourth quarter didn't play well at all. Like, they felt like they were still playing a hero ball, drastically. And that led to them not having a good offense the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, they started making shots. But like even that, they didn't play well in the fourth quarter. It's just Indiana played worse. And, you know, that's my concern for OKC. I've had this concern going into the postseason is just what's your offense outside of Shea? And J-Dub, he had 27 points, but he felt like he had a quiet 27 points. But obviously, most of his points came from the free throw line. I'll give him credit for that. He missed all his 3-pointers. Chet Holmgren, he had a double-double. He started playing better in the third quarter, but I was wondering what happened to the offense they ran through him. Where was the off-ball movement that they showcased in the first 2 games of the series? Like, they really showcased that the first 2 games in the third quarter, the third game, first quarter, but then they stopped going into it. They stopped relying on going to the free throw line a lot, which is very impressive, but also hero ball, drastic hero ball. And the Pacers, which is crazy because they had this super high ball movement going on the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, I mean, you got to get credit to OKC defensively. But, like, Indiana also just went to just straight ISO heavy ball. I mean, Aaron Nesmith, not Aaron Nesmith. Andrew Nembhard got multiple isolation type of possessions. Tyrese Halliburton, he got a shot blocked by Shea. Miles Turner, I feel like he took way more shots than I thought in the fourth quarter. Pascal Siakam, they stopped going to him. I know he was in foul trouble. I know he wasn't. He wasn't even in foul trouble. They stopped going to Pascal, which was he was one of the guys that was cooking. I know he shot 6 of 15, but he felt like he got to the free throw line 8 times. So they stopped going to him. I didn't understand. I mean, he had the highest scoring game of the Pacers this entire game. But they stopped going to him. And then Benedict Mathurin happened. Obviously, he had that game in Game 3. He played very well in Game 3. I'll give him that. But as soon as Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, I can't speak. As soon as Aaron Nesmith checked out, Benedict Mathurin got into the game, and he made bad possession after possession after possession. He missed 3 straight free throws. And they were down by like 3 points or 5 points at the time, but he missed 3 straight 3-pointers. He fouled twice in 2 inbound plays. And yeah, I'm blaming the refs, but at the same time, don't fucking foul. Like, just don't foul. And he had this really bad turnover. He had this really bad turnover late. I can't remember the exact turnover possession, but like just 3 really critical plays that can cause you to lose a game. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, no, he's not the main problem I have for that. I mean, I am a Benedict Mathurin hater. I still don't think he's a good NBA player. But like, this wasn't just entirely on him. I just feel like the entire offense just completely shut down. Now, the defense, yeah, they played well defensively, but they also fouled way too much. And the fourth quarter, I felt like more that OKC got to the free throw line more and been more aggressive because they kept on fouling. And that's what happens when you lose. That's how they lost the game, something like that. But this was still a great game, though, man. And we got 2 more games, man. We got 2 more games of the NBA Finals. And like I said, guys, we'll discuss it more on a later video that comes up probably on Sunday. But lot to expect. I'll go more in depth with this entire postseason series. And this was just a great game. I'm sorry that this video is going to be drastically shorter than the other ones, but we'll get more involved with it as soon as Game 5 and Game 6 happen, which I'm so glad we're guaranteed to have 2 more games. And honestly, I do plan on, I know I said this last year, I was going to do a ranking of every championship team since the 2000s. And I didn't record the video. I had the list finalized, but if OKC wins this, I think I had them relatively high. Not super tier, like super, like the top tier, but relatively high because of the defense, obviously. And just how dominant they've been on the defensive end. But the reliance on Shea is really what concerns me. That's why I just think they're not really a high variance team because the defense on their hand, but just an inconsistent team that if they match up with a team that also is just a really well-depth playmaking offensive team like the Indiana Pacers and just has a superstar level player, I mean, don't get just if if Tyrese Halliburton was more aggressive, I feel like they win this game. But even games 2, they would have won as well if you're just more aggressive. But that didn't happen, man. And crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, OKC would probably be like in bordering top tier, but at the bottom of it. Well, Indiana, I think they're probably where like I will still say behind the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, just around that era as well. And that's like a middle tier spot for me because they obviously just if they win, they beat 260 win teams to the championship and a 50 win team. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore the way how they won these games. I can't ignore that at all. They're a high-powered offensive team, and their defense is drastically underrated. Nobody's talking about how great of a defensive team this team actually really is. And they showcased it in Game 3. They showcased it at bang this game until the fourth quarter. They showcased it in the conference finals. They showcased it in the second round, and they showcased it in the first round. I mean, they just been such a well-depth rounded team, and it's exceeding expectations I never thought they would have. Where last year, I didn't think they were a team that can win a championship. I knew they were a team that can get to the finals, but ultimately, the lack of the defensive end, the over-reliance on the playmaking side for Tyrese Halliburton, the non-aggressiveness. I knew he was that great of a scorer still, but he just doesn't showcase at him. I feel like he showcased it a bit in this game. I think he's actually a pretty damn good scorer when he actually starts to score the ball. But yeah, they're probably around that time, probably a little bit lower than that. But yeah, man. And crazy. This finals is definitely the best finals we've gotten since 2021. And it might be better. We don't know that yet. We'll see what these next 2 games showcase because we've only had one bad game. And that's okay. That's better than having 2 or 3 bad games. And it goes series side 2-2. To where if I were to do a tier list ranking, not even tier list, just a ranking of every NBA finals since, again, 2000, this will be up there again with the 2021 series. It'll be better than 2022. I think 2022 is pretty overrated, but up there 2021. It'd be up there with the 2019 a little bit. I think that was series a little bit lower. It'd be up there with 2012 for sure. 2011 for sure. Even though 2011 is actually much higher. Like those series that are just competitive non-7 game series. Even though 7-game series are pretty damn overrated. Some of them are pretty damn overrated. But I will make a finalized list by the end of the summer. But this is going to be probably the best series tied with 2021 right now. To where I say 2021 is still better because obviously if we're judging it after the first 4 games, then I think it's tied right now because even though I say this series is a little bit better. Because both teams stole games on the road, and they're just convincing fashion. But I think it'd be better than 2021. But the thing is, 2021 had 3 iconic moments to where I can't dismiss that at all. I can't. To where this series had Tyrese Halliburton game winner in game 1, and I guess Shai's performances, but they're not being talked about as enough because SGA is just not as likable as people want to discuss. Even though I would say he's a damn good player, I just can't say that he was on a level of a Giannis with a 50-point game or something like that, or like a Steph Curry 42-point game 4, like something like that. Like I can't really say that, even though Shai's having one of the best finals debuts in NBA history. He literally is having that. Where outside of game 3, he scored like over 35 plus every single game. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'll go more in depth with it on another video that's coming up later. If you guys heard, I said this, just turn on for more notifications. Turn your notifications on, and big things are gonna happen. Spoiler: new channels coming up. But yeah, take care, guys, and I'll see you guys for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We out.